There is an island near Venice that tourists are forbidden to visit. A small piece of land surrounded by calm water, yet filled with one of the darkest stories in European history. For centuries, people have whispered about this place. An island where more than 160,000 people died. An island where the ground itself is believed to contain human ashes. This is the mysterious island of Poveglia. At first glance, Poveglia looks peaceful. From the water, you can see trees growing between old buildings. Birds circle above the ruins and the lagoon appears calm and quiet. But beneath this peaceful view lies a terrifying past. Centuries ago, Europe was struck by one of the deadliest diseases in history, the Black Death. This deadly plague spread rapidly across cities and villages, killing millions of people. Fear spread even faster than the disease itself. Governments desperately searched for ways to stop the infection. Their solution was brutal. Anyone suspected of carrying the plague was removed from the mainland. Ships filled with sick passengers were sent away from cities. Their destination was a small isolated island in the Venetian lagoon. That island was Poveglia. Thousands of men, women, and children were transported there. Many were already dying when they arrived. Others were simply suspected of being infected. But once they stepped onto the island, there was almost no chance of leaving again. Large pits were dug into the ground to bury the growing number of victims. But the number of deaths increased so quickly that the pits filled within days. Soon the bodies had to be burned in massive fires. Smoke rose above the island and drifted across the lagoon. Historians believe that more than 160,000 people died on Poveglia during this period. Over time, the soil itself became mixed with the ashes of the dead. Even today, locals claim that nearly half the island's soil is made of human remains. After the plague finally faded, the island was abandoned for many years. Nature slowly covered the ruins. Trees grew through broken walls. Grass covered the old burial grounds. For a moment, it seemed as if history had forgotten Poveglia. But the island's story was far from over. Because decades later, the island would once again become a place of suffering. And this time, the darkness would return in an even stranger way. Years later, the abandoned island of Poveglia was given a new purpose. In the early 20th century, authorities decided to build a psychiatric hospital on the island. At the time, mental health treatment was very different from what we understand today. Many patients were sent to isolated facilities far away from the public, and Poveglia, already separated from the mainland by water, seemed like the perfect place. Soon, doctors, nurses, and patients began living on the island once again. But life inside the hospital quickly became surrounded by strange rumors. Some patients reported hearing whispers in the empty hallways at night. Others claimed they saw shadowy figures moving between the old plague ruins. These stories were usually dismissed as symptoms of mental illness. After all, the patients were already considered unstable. But over time, the stories became harder to ignore. Even some staff members began to feel uneasy about the island. The silence of Poveglia was different from other places. At night, the wind moved through broken buildings and empty corridors. Doors creaked slowly in the darkness, and the old bell tower stood silently above the hospital. According to local legend, one doctor working at the hospital became fascinated by the island's past. He believed the spirits of the plague victims still remained there. The doctor reportedly began conducting unusual and disturbing experiments on his patients. No one knows exactly what happened during those experiments, but people working at the hospital said the doctor slowly began losing his sanity. Eventually, the story took an even darker turn. One evening, the doctor climbed to the top of the island's bell tower. Witnesses later claimed that he jumped from the tower to his death. Some say he was driven mad by guilt. Others believe the island itself had broken his mind. Whether the story is true or simply legend remains unknown. But soon after that event, the psychiatric hospital closed permanently. The staff left the island. The patients were moved away. And once again, Poveglia was abandoned. The buildings slowly began to decay. Windows shattered. Walls collapsed. And nature quietly reclaimed the island. But the dark history of Poveglia was never truly forgotten, because stories about the island continued to spread for decades. Fishermen sailing near the lagoon often refused to approach the island. Some claimed their fishing nets would mysteriously tear when they came too close. Others said strange sounds could sometimes be heard drifting across the water at night. Over time, Poveglia gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Europe, and the island became surrounded by mystery. Today, Poveglia remains one of the most mysterious islands in the world. From the mainland, it appears quiet and almost peaceful. The lagoon water moves slowly around its shore, and trees grow through the ruins of abandoned buildings. But the silence of the island hides centuries of tragedy. For generations, locals have warned people to stay away from Poveglia. Fishermen sailing through the Venetian lagoon often refuse to stop near the island. Some claim their equipment mysteriously fails when they approach too closely. Others say they hear strange sounds carried across the water during the night. Whether these stories are real or simply legends passed down through time is still unknown. But the island's past is undeniably dark. More than 160,000 people are believed to have died there during the plague years. Their ashes mixed with the soil of the island itself. Later, the psychiatric hospital added another disturbing chapter to the island's history. Today, the broken buildings still stand as silent witnesses to everything that happened there. Nature has slowly taken over the island. Grass grows through the old hospital floors. Trees rise beside the cracked walls. And the bell tower continues to overlook the lagoon, exactly as it did decades ago. Occasionally, the Italian government has attempted to sell or redevelop the island. But every project has failed. Developers quickly discovered that restoring the buildings would cost enormous amounts of money. Others simply refused to work on a place with such a dark reputation. Because of this, Poveglia has remained abandoned for many years. No tourists walk its paths. No residents live inside its buildings. The island simply waits in silence. Some explorers have secretly attempted to visit the island. Most of them describe the same strange feeling. A heavy atmosphere that makes the island feel different from any other place. Whether this feeling is caused by imagination, history, or something else entirely remains a mystery. But the story of Poveglia reminds us of something important. History is not always beautiful. Sometimes the past holds tragedies that shape the places we see today. Behind the peaceful waters of the Venetian lagoon lies an island filled with forgotten memories. Poveglia stands as a reminder of the devastating power of disease, fear, and isolation. A quiet island surrounded by calm water. Yet beneath its peaceful appearance lies centuries of suffering and loss. And perhaps that is why the island remains closed to visitors even today. Because some places carry memories that should never be disturbed. The island of Poveglia still waits there in silence. A forgotten piece of land in the middle of the Venetian lagoon. And a haunting reminder that some chapters of history are too dark to ever truly disappear. Today, the island of Poveglia still stands in the middle of the Venetian lagoon, silent and untouched. From the water, it looks like any other small island covered with trees and old buildings. But beneath the peaceful surface lies centuries of tragedy that shaped its dark reputation. The broken hospital walls, the empty bell tower, and the overgrown paths all remain as quiet witnesses of the past. Very few people are allowed to step onto the island today. The Italian government keeps it closed, and most locals prefer to keep their distance. Whether the stories of ghosts and strange events are true or simply legends, no one can say for certain. But the history of Poveglia is real. Thousands of lives were lost here, and their memory still lingers in the silence of the island. Perhaps some places in the world are not meant to be explored. Perhaps some places exist only to remind us of the darker chapters of human history. And the island of Poveglia is one of those places. A forgotten island surrounded by calm water, yet forever marked by one of the most haunting stories in